Cheers, Ian. Well, this is going to be a squeeze. Come and join us, guys. So, Pointy coming in and Stuart Oliver. Not the second. To be honest, we didn't want to see you, Stuart. You didn't want him to be here, of course. It's for the championship. We spoke to Pointy yesterday. This sat with us now, although I'm sure it's going to be an absolute pleasure. This is not where you want to be, is it?
No, I would much prefer to have been out there, and beautiful conditions. I love Pembrey, and but like I just said downstairs to some guys, I got a chance to spend some time with you fellas.
Can you tell us technically what was wrong with the vehicle? I think Pointy alluded to it yesterday, didn't you?
Yeah. That's right. It's we had problems at Brands Hatch. We rectified them, but strain must have been put on certain components in the engine that we didn't envisage would be what were. It went great on testing, went great in qualifying, got 2 fastest laps, put us on pole positions, but unfortunately when it came down to the race, the oil pressure went away. We dropped the sump off and it's full of metal, so it's come from somewhere, so we've got a bit of investigation work to do.
And in terms of the team, all efforts on Michael's truck now then?
All efforts on Michael's truck. That's right. He's got plenty boards. No pressure. That's right. He's just got to. I said you'll be fine as long as you get to the front.
Now we've got Simon Cole and Neil Yates on pole position on the front row today. First corner at Pembrey is, of course, a hairpin, and these massive trucks. It's such an important corner every single lap, isn't it?
It's a massive important corner, yeah. And the trucks. They're obviously modified from a road truck to a race truck. One thing that gets changed in them is you don't have as much steering angle as you would in a normal truck. So if you keep too far over, you kind of get round the corner. You have unavoidable contact because your steering only goes so far. It's not like a normal road truck or even car. So it is important to get it right, get the line right, make sure you've got room and the person next to you is given plenty room, so it's certainly exciting. Right,
let's have a look at the grid then. Neil Yates on the front row, of course, reverse grid with Simon Cole in the Iveco. Then row 2, Division 2's John Powell and Michael Oliver. We'll be watching that one very, very closely. Row number 3, John Bowler and Dave Jenkins. A brilliant win yesterday from Dave Jenkins. Some of the best defending you'll ever see in a truck. Row 4, Stephen Powell and Ryan Smith. Row 5, Sam Osborne and Tom O'Rourke. And it is just the 10 trucks on track today, isn't it?
It is, yeah. As I say, there's certainly been some sore heads this morning, not necessarily from the booze last night, unfortunately. So like Stuart's had some issues yesterday as well. There's been some other issues in the paddock, but of course it's the first race of Sunday. Banks are full, loads of spectators waiting to see some heavy metal action, and I believe with the way the grid is set up for this first race, they are going to get just that.
Stuart, you'll have spent plenty of time being chased by Ryan Smith. How good was Dave Jenkins yesterday?
Yeah, he's good. Ryan is good, as we all know. He's got a good racecraft, and he's a master at the cheeky moves. And Dave, he defended well and managed to get across the line first. I think another lap he would have struggled, but he did what he needed to do.
We certainly had fun in here calling it, didn't we, Pointy?
Oh, we did. And I mean, if you head over to official BTRC on Instagram as well, which is of course our Instagram page, you'll see the replay of that last lap yesterday, and it's gone absolutely mental on social media. Just come up on the screen. Apparently, Stuart, you're actually out on the grid this morning. Is it like a virtual Stuart truck?
Yeah, absolutely. I've got my little remote control box here in front of us. I don't know where we're going to go if it goes off the camera, but we'll be all right. But I'm a bit surprised how it was 13 of us yesterday, and there's only 10 shown on the screen. And I know I'm obviously not there, but
Archie Handy's out there, isn't he? Is Archie out there?
Yeah, Archie's there. Yeah, he's just going around the hairpin. Yeah.
Archie, Dave, and then So it's all a bit mixed up. Was it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12? There's definitely 12 trucks on the track. Well, 13 plus the pace truck. But we won't let Andy get ahead of himself. Big Andy, of course, one of the support guys on Ryan Smith's team with me, Julie. Julie, of course, being Steve Thomas's sister, who always looks after Ryan Smith's team there in the paddock. But what an absolutely fantastic day we've got here. I mean, we were kind of promised by the Met Office thunder and lightning yesterday, which we got. But going on that result, of course, it means we've been promised good weather today, which currently we are experiencing.
I mean, I've got to say, I've been to Pembrey several times. It's always sunny here.
Global warming.
Whether it's whether it's April or October, it always seems to be sunny in Pembrey. It's a beautiful place.
It's the Welsh Riviera, apparently.
I never realised until I looked at Google Maps and we went on a little detour a few years ago how actually close to the coast we are here at Pembrey, because of course you're so landlocked all the way here, you don't realise that actually if you just carry on over the backfield you will end up on the beach.
Absolutely. I think, is it the Brooklands hair? No, not the Brooklands hairpin. It's just as you come up towards Honda, if you actually go straight on, it doesn't take long and you're on the beach.
I believe this is where Tom O'Rourke tried to go for a little drive around a couple of years back, wasn't it?
Most of us have been around there. I think, but Andy Lovenbury, a sort of racer from many years ago, he was around there, but they had to get a crane to get him back in. But we'll better get going on this one.
Pace truck is coming in. So we've got Powell and Cole on the front row. They are closely followed behind by the rest of these 5-ton monsters. And we'll hear the roar, you'll feel the roar behind us as the lights go green. And we are truck racing for the third time
and it's
this
looking
weekend.
Good, Michael Oliver, John Bowler straight behind there, looking for a gap through that braking session there. But no, it's Neil Yates heading up with Michael Oliver right behind him. Simon Cole drops back as Dave Jenkins looks for the late break opportunity. Really tight line from Michael Oliver there. Oh, we're going to spin out. Neil Yates takes out Dave Jenkins. We've also got John Bowler out as well. John Powell mixed up with the mix, and as well Sam Osborne from Napa held up. Will we get them all restarted or not? We're not sure, but Michael Oliver steaming ahead now, closely followed by Simon Cole and Steve Powell. What a start. We knew there'd be action. A yellow flag is out as we see John Bowler and I believe Neil Yates stranded on that first bend.
Yeah, they are sat and tangled. Couldn't be a better start here for Stuart and Michael, moving straight to the front. John Powell tangled up in there too. There were several trucks that got a bit of we got a red flag. Red flag.
The trucks are unfortunately just starting to move. John Bowler and Neil Yates getting going, but the red flag has come out. Michael Oliver won't be happy with that, but if we look at the debris on the circuit, that does need clearing up before any racing can continue.
And on the rules, if we go to a restart without one lap completed, we go back to the natural restart, or will
they will be regridded unless one of the trucks obviously can't carry on.
Yep.
We'll have to see what the recovery's like. Now, of course, John Bowler does look like he is stranded. He's out of his truck. We think we may have some serious issues. He's lost his windscreen, you think? Sure, we can get a zoom in on that. We'd be able to see a little closer. But yeah, it does look like he's missing some labels, doesn't it?
It wasn't just these two that were involved in that. There's going to be several trucks with a little bit of damage to them. So maybe we might get you and Pointy Ian down there to have a look if we are going to have a bit of a break here. Of course, there is in the series a virtual safety car. That is not going to be the case here at Pembrey. And I don't even think a virtual could get past that truck anyway. It's stranded and absolutely going nowhere.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of action down here in the pit lane, just looking out the window now. John Bowler, there we go. So he's looking for damage. We have definitely lost a windscreen. There is a huge amount of debris. I mean, what an unfortunate first lap. I mean, we were just talking before that race start. First corner is very important, but it's more important to get round it than it is. Here we go for the replay. Then we see Dave Jenkins and Michael Oliver making a great start. Neil Yates steaming ahead. Simon Cole dropping back quite early. Michael Oliver in a fantastic position, but under pressure from Dave Jenkins. This is when he goes round, loses his back end. Neil Yates spins around, just clips Michael Oliver. Dave tries to avoid. We have then an impact from behind, which I believe sends John Bowler into the side of Neil Yates. I mean, we've lost the replay image, unfortunately, there again for us. But yeah, I mean, we saw it happen the first time round. Luckily, we've got the tractor out on track now, though. Hopefully to get that truck snatch recovery, I believe they call it. It's just to tie it up and drag it out. But we have got another recovery truck down there, and the wrecker is out as well. So yeah, it might be a slightly time-consuming recovery, this one. So yes, the trucks are regridding, looks like in their original position. Looking out though, no major damage to the trucks I can see. Michael Oliver relatively unscathed, which is fantastic news for him. Hopefully he can take advantage of that restart again.
Now, Stuart, I know you come to trucks with lots of spare parts. Do you come with a spare windscreen?
Yes, we'll have spare windscreens. Unfortunately, windscreens are an item that's sort of gets a lot of pay. It's a massive bit of glass at the front, and anything that's on the track gets thrown up from the truck in front.
Is there anything you don't bring? Can you go for a list? Not a full list, but do you bring pretty much everything with you?
We do. So we have in my team, I have a support trailer which carries one truck, but at the rest of the front half, it's full of spare parts. So gearboxes, differentials, half shafts, all the big heavy items, all the panels, windscreens included. So yeah, there's a lot of equipment required, to be able to do any repairs. Unfortunately, with mine, my own truck, we don't have engines, but no, it's all the teams are the same. You've got to be prepared, and I always work on the theory that if you have it with you, you don't need it.
Yep.
It's the bits you don't have that you need, and that's exactly what's happened to me. But I'm sure John will have a windscreen. It looked like it was the impact that fired the windscreen out, because they get changed so regular. They're not actually bonded in like a car or a truck, so you can change them quickly. And I think it was just the impact that the truck came to a stop quick. Looking at the images there, it looks like his front axle's been knocked back, which will probably be a broken spring or a centre bolt broken. So he caught Neil's back end as Neil came round, stopped dead, which fired the windscreen out the front.
Does that look fixable to you?
It'll be fixable, but it'll not be out in this race. But I'm sure that the boys will get on it and get what they need to get it fixed and get out in the next one. Now,
in the paddock, of course, it's not just you, the driver. You've got some massive teams, haven't you? And this right now is where they come to the fray and really do their work.
Absolutely. It's as a driver, you could just about say you've got the easy job. And it's the team, the backup, the support. John's guys will be there looking now, probably from the bank, and they'll be heading back to the team, to the tent. Right, we need this. John's possibly been on the radio and saying, he'll have seen what damage there is. He'll be saying, we need a spring, or we need a wheel, or we need a centre bolt, we need a windscreen, obviously, and they'll be getting it all ready.
Now, I'm just waiting to see. You're looking at what you're looking
I'm looking out the window, so I've got a bit of a handy view here, just down the back of the control tower, and I can see Neil Yates' 33 truck with his team surrounding. We have had some bits of bodywork removed, damaged fiberglass and so on. However, we've had scrutineering behind that truck for some time now. I believe he's been given the thumbs up. Always a kind of bittersweet situation, that when you cause quite an incident and then you end up being the one allowed back out on the circuit, when actually someone else has suffered a loss of points now.
Now, when scrutineering are looking at the trucks, of course there's been damage. What are they looking to sign off in terms of, yes, you can go racing?
Basically that the truck's safe. There's no loose panels that's going to fly off during the race. All the tyres are hard. And it's ready to go. A few panels missing here and there. That's cosmetic, but it's mainly the mechanical aspect of the truck. It's that it's safe to go racing.
Brilliant. Right, they've got the rig coming in to pick up the truck now. And we don't get to see this too often. You'll keep looking out that window. What are you looking for?
Well, I'm just keeping an eye. So obviously from my vision here, we've got John Powell, who a couple of guys have had a little look round. So we know he got away with it. Simon Cole obviously clear of the damage. There's obviously going to be some choice words on Neil's team after this race. But then we have seen Garrett pop off to the back there to have a look at another truck. So of course, it wasn't the only truck. We've got Dave Jenkins got toiled up in there as well, but he seems to be sitting pretty on the grid at the moment, so no major issues. A scrutineer has actually come back in, so it looks like he's checked all of the trucks he needs to, so fingers crossed. I believe other than poor old John Bowler, everybody else is effectively clear to carry on racing. But we look down onto that first corner, and of course I'm sure it's probably quite interesting for the spectators, but unfortunately still quite a bit of clearing up to do with regards to what's on the circuit.
Yeah. So our third race of 5 this week, and we were already a little bit delayed because of the incidents in the Mini Challenge Trophy class. So what this will do to the schedule, we'll just keep you updated as best we can. No.
There is a decent lunch break again today, another hour, which, as I say, sometimes those lunch breaks end up being quite short, especially with the trucks. But ironically, this is the first incident we've had for the trucks, really, this weekend. So for once, it isn't all our fault, which is nice. But yeah, so lunch meant to be at 12:30. We'll probably be looking more along taking away that lunch break probably now, and we'll end up trying to catch up after the lunch break because, well, the marshals just go without food and water for a change.
I have just literally, before that race, eaten my ham sandwich.
Wow,
Yeah.
I think you peaked early.
I did.
Yeah, quite a bit of panelling being removed from the track now. They'll probably pop that on the back of the wrecker.
And when we get going again, we'll grid up as if it's the start of the race again.
Effectively so,
Yeah.
yes. It will be gridded, so it will be a complete restart. They've still got 15 minutes on the clock ready to restart the whole race. So it's great that they've actually given the trucks the opportunity to have that full 15 minutes. And let's just hope that, bearing in mind, I hate to be the one to say it, but Neil Yates starting in the same position again, are we going to have a repeat of the same race start? I mean, these are the questions that people ask when they're watching this stuff from home.
Stuart, if this happens, you get a red flag, you're sat in the car now, in the truck, in the cabin, just sort of, what are you doing? Are you literally just twiddling your thumbs, or are you going through settings, or speaking to your team?
Yeah, in this situation, because it's a red flag situation, the team isn't allowed to come to the truck. So you're sitting in the truck there on the pit wall. They're saying, does everything look all right? Obviously, it's obvious if you've had contact. You've had contact. If you're unfortunate, you've had some contact, you're trying to get them to look and see and check out. Right, pointy point you alluded to, the scrutineers go out and check over everything, so that's right. But you're sitting there, you're looking at your temperatures. One downside of what's happened here is everybody's gone charging to that bottom corner, brakes are red hot, they've come round, the red flag came out when they were coming up sort of the back towards sort of Honda. The red flag comes out, you haven't got a lot of time to cool your brakes down, so you're sitting on the grid with probably 300, 400 degrees of temperature. If you haven't switched your water off on time, you then could have a problem with fracturing a brake disc, because your water cooling is done by, so your brake cooling is done by injecting water through the brake discs at one point, which is fine when the wheels are turning. If you have hot brake discs and you're injecting water at one point, you're cooling only 1 point in the crack in half.
Wow. This is the insight you're here for, Stuart. It's brilliant.
so that's
Cracks in the past, believe me. I mean, you can fit your hand in the gaps when they crack. They're huge.
That's right. So, for all the guys are all sitting on the grid there, I hope it doesn't happen, but it could be on the formation lap. They will be checking the brakes. When you then press your brake and you feel a bang and a clatter and your pedals sort of juddering, you've got no option other than come in the pit lane. So hopefully we don't see that. But it's them's the things you're thinking about. Did I do this in time? Did I do that in time? And now we're ready to go again. But looking at outside there now, the recovery truck's doing his job, so hopefully we'll go on shortly.
Yeah, John Baylor making his way, or a truck at least making his way in. And I think that tractor's done more laps than anybody else so far this morning. But thankfully, there's no damage to any tyre barriers, so it's literally just getting the truck off the track, making sure there's no debris down. Didn't look like there was any fluid on the ground there either.
We'll soon find out when they'll go around there for the next lap. I tell you, it doesn't take them long to find the slippy bits in these trucks. I mean, we're talking 5.5 tons overall weight, but when you're doing that at like 60 miles an hour around a tight bend, you soon lose grip and end up going in an opposite direction to you're steering.
So making its way back to the truck paddock. Now, the truck paddock this weekend at Pembrey is, that used to be, I'm saying over there, you can't see where I'm pointing, but the area that you used to use for assembly is now, the Convoy Cymru's got so big it's all being used now. Yeah,
indeed. So we've got a really good turnout of show trucks this weekend, which is fantastic to see down at Convoy Cymru. And again, it's a very well supported event since Truck Sport brought the Convoy brand to Pembrey, for the extra 2 events each year. It's really grown every single year, which is brilliant. But of course, that means that, bearing in mind, and before you were involved with truck racing, this used to be the truck paddock anyway. This is where everybody used to park up, and we'd go straight out, the same as it always was. So Stuart said when he started racing here, they didn't even have the top half as tarmac. So it was literally just a field, you know. But yeah, I mean, it's great to see the paddock, though. I feel like it's a little bit better being so tight-knit. All the teams very close together. We've actually got a couple of sponsors with us today as well, this weekend, namely the Sylvie Group. Sylvie Group, of course, deserve a special mention because they're actually our biofuel sponsor this year. So they're providing all of our fuel for the teams, which is fantastic. So all the race trucks getting that free fuel. Well, it's not free, but it's paid for by Sylvie Group.
Another one to mention, actually, I haven't done so this weekend, but it was a perfect time to. British Truck Racing also aligned themselves with Man Up, which is a charity. They're trying to raise awareness on and off the track for men's mental health, which we can't talk enough about. Started in 2019, Man Up exists to raise awareness about mental health amongst men, specifically the stigma that surrounds the subject by encouraging openness. So over the course of the year, there'll be a wide range of fundraising initiatives taking place, all of which will be communicated. Great to see British Truck Racing aligning with such a fantastic charity.
Yeah, really interesting you mentioned that as well, actually, because the week we've just finished was indeed Mental Health Awareness Week, and I myself on Friday made the silly mistake of driving to Barnsley Football Club before heading to South Wales to commentate on a charity football match, all in aid of men's mental health charity Mind. Yes, it was plumbers versus electricians. As you know, I'm a plumber in my day job, and all the social media faces were there from the plumbing and electric world to raise money for charity. I mean, it is a fantastic cause, no matter what the name of the charity. You know, mental health is massively important, and of course the focus on men particularly is the fact that traditionally and stereotypically men are usually the ones that literally do just man up, crack on and get on with it, much to their own suffering, I would believe.
Yeah, so we're about to go racing shortly again. We will have one green flag again under the pace truck.
Hopefully just one. I mean, we had like 3 or 4 green laps yesterday, didn't
race,
we?
Wasn't it? Yeah. So Neil Yates and Simon Cole back on the front row of the grid, as we were a little while ago. And we'll do one lap under the pace truck, and then we'll try and get more than one corner of racing.
I believe we might have some bad news about to pop up on the screen. Listening to the intercom here, that TSL are adjusting the restart time. I believe we might only have a 10-minute restart. I'm just waiting for it to reload on my screen as well to see if that is indeed the case. Of course, one massive downside to being in Pembrey, South Wales is the fact that no one's phones really work. So it's, you know.
I mean, as you know, Pointy, we have struggled with some images this weekend.
Massively.
A lot of the time we can see everything from hatchets round to the centre S's, but everything behind us we are guessing sometimes.
The guys at home are getting a better viewing experience than us in the commentary box.
Today, the pictures have been great. The team behind the scenes have worked their wonders this morning, and we are getting pretty good images now. Right, we're back under the pace truck, and again we'll do one full lap. And Michael Oliver and Dave Jenkins looking to get exactly the same start they got about 10 minutes ago, because it was exactly what they were looking for.
Yeah, we have indeed got 10 minutes on TSL's website, so we're just waiting for the screen to update for the 10 minutes there for you viewers at home. But TSL, of course, being the official timing people that do a lot of racing for Motorsport UK, and of course Bark.
Now, this race was meant to get underway at 10:30. It's now 11:15, so there is going to be time chopped here and there. I think we're going to get, of course, a 5-minute shorter race here.
Yep.
I think we're struggling to change the timing on screen, so we're going to run at 15, I think, and run down to 5 minutes. But we'll update you, keep reminding you that it is a 10-minute race.
Back on again. Just sort of He's tried multiple times.
Dear. Stuart, this is where they'll be testing brakes, making sure everything's running smoothly and not going to get any surprises into turn 1.
Exactly, that's good, because that's the last thing they want is, to be going around there and then, have a problem with brakes or brake disc cracked or whatever, because we'll just end up with a repeat of what we've just had. So fingers crossed everything's good.
So we will see.
Yeah, I'm going to let you take this one. I certainly
No,
jumped in.
I thought you did well.
I mean, it's one of those things, when you see it, you go, and then the other one just has to say, no, fair play, he's got it. But this time, you go for it.
And thankfully, we did actually see it this time.
We did actually see it, yeah.
And we can see Hedges from where we're sat, just about from a distance away. So it's not the end of the world.
One difference I've noticed commentating again this season to previously when I first ever did it was the delay from the circuit is a lot less than it used to be. Like we saw the crash on here on the screen, and it was literally still happening out the window, whereas before we were talking a good 20 seconds before you could commentate on the race.
Right, so we're just waiting to see, is the pace truck coming in? Can't see through walls, unfortunately. But it should be. Maybe you can see better than us. Oh no, we're going to go one more time, are we?
Red
oh
lights.
No, we are going. I can hear the engines.
Red lights are out. It's go, go, go.
And down towards Hedges once again. Look at the damage on that truck already. Oh, Michael Oliver straight into the front there as we go round to Hedges, so he should get round safely. And a big question mark over the rest of them. There is no contact right now. We do go round Hedges successfully. Michael Oliver, what a start. Dave Jenkins alongside Neil Yates into turn 3. Round Spitfires, round 2 to DeBenny. Simon Cole from the pole position down to 5th place right now. Ryan Smith stuck in 7th. A bit of dust flicked up there. Michael Oliver, he's away.
He's absolutely flying, and what a hell of a first lap as well. Michael Oliver come flying around the corner there. Steve Powell, taking Neil Yates, who does appear to be having some handling issues. We've got Tom O'Rourke under fire from Ryan Smith, but Ryan Smith, of course, as we saw yesterday, is not going to wait long before making up those places. Tom O'Rourke now past Neil Yates, as well as I'm sure when the feed comes back to us. Oh no, Ryan Smith still just waiting it out a little bit behind Neil Yates there, making a safe pass, as we saw him do with Dave Jenkins yesterday, but the inevitability, Ryan Smith, of course, is now past.
But he's got a lot less time today to catch up with that 10-minute race now, so the graphic has gone off your screen. We'll try and get that up as soon as we possibly can, but we're a 10-minute racing in race number 1 of the trucks here at Pembrey on day 2. Michael Oliver ahead of Dave Jenkins. Oh, we got Tom on the grass, and they're going to get back on safely. We don't want to see anybody in any tyre walls here. We've lost enough time. Everybody please try and get back onto the asphalt, and they've done so. Dave Jenkins all over the back of Michael Oliver.
John Powell pulling a good lap, considering his engine was still in pieces moments before the start of this race. But of course, Michael Oliver still in the lead with a 1:16.3. Very, very close behind him, though. Just 0.6 of a second. Dave Jenkins is coming for him, I do believe.
So our Division 2 drivers, who were, of course, Simon Cole on the front row of the grid, already down and collecting themselves in 8th, 9th, 10th and 11th. That's what happened maybe a little bit quicker than we would have anticipated. But Michael Oliver ahead of Jenkins, and Stephen Powell, who's just watched his daughter Lexi compete in the Junior Saloon Car Championship, got his concentration hat on, and he's going all the way alongside Woodlands, round to the Honda curve. And O'Rourke, Tom O'Rourke in 4th place. We didn't see him race yesterday in race number 2. What was wrong with Tom O'Rourke's? Did we find out at the end?
What wasn't wrong with Tom O'Rourke's truck yesterday, I believe, was the ethos in the paddock. Yeah, Dave Jenkins looking down the inside line as they're coming around the bend from the pit lane there. Definitely got the inside line, but can't quite make it past as Michael Oliver shuts the door. Tight turn, keeps it tidy. A bit of a bunch up there from Steve Powell, but Ryan Smith, where's he come from? He's all over the back of the top 3 now, looking for a space past Steve Powell.
What's going through sort of Michael's head at the moment? I mean, in these situations when you're leading a race, you know you've got fast trucks behind you. What's going through the old ticker?
He'd be on maximum concentration without a doubt, you know, and it's the important thing is to keep looking forward. You know, if you're looking in your mirrors as where you've been, it's not what you want to be doing, but he's got to obviously look for any ambitious manoeuvres from behind and be ready for them, and you know, sort of be defensive but still not lose any time in the track.
And as a father watching, how does it feel?
Usually too busy concentrating on your own race to be able to really give full gravitas to Michael's skills on the track. But yes, further down then in Division 2 at the moment, we are looking at John Powell, Cole and Sam Osborne. Sam doing quite well yesterday in his 2nd race, getting that 1st place trophy. But of course, track limits in the 1st race ended up with a 15-second penalty, which really did hurt that British touring car driver.
Dave Jenkins' defensive masterclass yesterday afternoon, while he's to when they're doing the chasing now. You've also got to defend at the same time from Powell and Ryan Smith. So Ryan Smith, he sort of shot through the field yesterday, not finding quite the gaps he did behind Powell right now.
It's a very tight bunch, this top four. A bit of a lock-up from Simon Powell. That's going to Steve Powell. That's going to keep him back. Yes, indeed, the opportunity's there. Ryan Smith flies straight past him now. What a shame for Steve Powell. That tiny bit of smoke did cost him that position. But I tell you what, Michael Oliver, all credit where it's due, keeping Dave Jenkins. Dave Jenkins, massive lock-up, slides out to the side. Is he going to smash? No, thank goodness. Control regained. Will he get going again? That was very close. Great control there from Dave Jenkins in that sideways slide, but he's not going to be happy. Unbelievable there, just looking for that position past Michael Oliver. Michael Oliver now under pressure from Ryan Smith. Is Ryan Smith going to take the chance to get past him?
Not this time, not just yet. So Jenkins down to fourth place, and that is a long, long way back now to the top three. Powell is going to be in a, almost like guaranteed third, and Ryan Smith is going to be all over the back
coming wide as
of
well.
Michael Oliver. And they'll once again come down to hatchets. Only 5 minutes remaining. Goes to the inside. There'll be no gap there, surely.
Padlock on the gate there from Michael Oliver. Fantastic defensive driving. This is probably one of Michael Oliver's best bits of driving I've seen this year so far. The pressure he's under right now is incredible.
And he's got 5 minutes of this absolutely non-stop. Stuart, you mentioned he can't look backwards. He's going to be all over his wing mirrors.
Oh my goodness, this is almost like the Dave Jenkins lap we saw yesterday. Ryan Smith literally trying every trick in the book to get past him, but Michael Oliver is absolutely fantastically defending that racing line. We've really got to keep our eyes on the number 12 and the number 1 truck. I tell you what, this is incredible to watch. We are on the edge of our seats.
This is a carbon copy of yesterday when it was Jenkins holding off Ryan Smith, and he got it done. There's only going to be 3 more laps potentially as we come down towards 4 minutes. Looks left, looks right. Oliver says no, not today. And they're going to go round the Honda curve. Oh, there's an opportunity. No, there isn't. It closes the door once again. Can he get his foot down?
Ryan Smith just can't quite seem to find that gap, can he?
This is letting Powell back in as well. Look at Powell over the back of Ryan Smith. Moves to the inside. Is there a gap? No, he closes the door again, moves to the outside.
He's all over him. Look at him dodging and weaving, trying to get past, but Michael Oliver almost seems calm in this situation. You can see by the start the line hasn't changed. Every lap the same racing line, absolutely phenomenal.
It's like Stuart just said, just keep looking forward, keep looking forward.
He's definitely looking forward, but like you say, defensive driving is costing time there. Steve Powell catching up very quickly, but Dave Jenkins now even closer to them than he was before.
Dave Jenkins catching up, and so is Powell as well. Powell just 1 second behind the front two now. Of course, when you're racing, you're spending a little bit of time off the racing line, doing your defensive moves left and right, and it's letting the guys behind catch up. So I thought this might be a 2-man race, but Powell's definitely back in this one.
Trying to get past the truck in front actually it's harder work than you think. I mean, you think going faster would be the way forward, but it slows you down. Each attempt to get past that truck in front will in fact cost you time and momentum. It's all gone very quiet though, I don't like that.
Yeah, we've lost a little bit of images. We're waiting for them to come back down to start and finish straight.
Unbelievable. Where are they all?
Oh, Oliver's still in front. It's okay. Round Honda
then.
Start finish line again. We'll have 2 more laps, well, potentially 3 more laps, 2:40. Let's do some maths.
I am on the edge of my seat, like I said yesterday on air.
And this is looking better than it has done the last few laps, in fact.
But I am Switzerland. It almost looks like Ryan Smith there charging his batteries, waiting for the opportunity to press that go faster button that he always seems to find when he needs it. And Steve Powell is still in with a chance. We only hope that this carries on the way it's going. Clean racing, great racing, fantastic skill from the entire pack. But looking back Division 2, we have still got John Powell pulling a sensible lead ahead there of Simon Cole, followed by Tom O'Rourke, strangely, and Sam Osborne bringing up the rear.
So again, we are struggling with some images, but we're looking out of our window every single way, left and right. Stuart Oliver watching very, very closely here in the truck.
I can hear tyres.
Oh, we got screeching one off. Who's that gone off? Bunty just there.
We've got rubbing. We've got rubbing. Ryan Smith goes up the inside, just manages to tickle his way past Michael Oliver. Look at the acceleration. Like I said, the go faster button has well and truly been pushed as he flies past around Honda, showing speed that he hasn't had for the last couple of laps, certainly, as he instantly pulls ahead. I mean, we're talking a second or two ahead on that overtake. It's incredible. The power that truck has is just phenomenal.
And the defensive duties will not relent for Michael Oliver. Now has to hold off Powell for the next couple of laps. This is letting Dave Jenkins back in too. He's still a few seconds back. It's probably a little bit too much to bridge that gap. But Ryan Smith not moving away as quick as he did yesterday afternoon. But most definitely it'll be a couple of seconds to the good. So Oliver now defending from Powell. Jenkins 2.5 seconds back. Elsewhere, as you pointed out, Pointy, Powell, Cole, Osborne 1, 2, 3 in Division 2.
Pointy down, Pointy.
There you go.
I love it. I love it. Yeah, but you are right. I mean, it's certainly been an exciting race, but it's not over yet for Michael Oliver. He needs to defend against Steve Powell. I mean, like I say, I'd be happy for any of them to get trophies. But of course, we've managed to hold off Ryan Smith for several laps. I mean, just to do that is a claim in its own right, isn't it?
Absolutely. Depending on, of course, what we saw yesterday, there's going to be one more lap to run here.
The checker's out. It goes, Ryan Smith. Michael Oliver takes the second, and then Dave Jenkins in third place. Well, I'm not sure it's what Michael Oliver had dreams of for most of that race, but I tell you what a fantastic race for all three of those drivers. And of course, you can't give the guy credit for missing that incident on that first start in the first place. So really, really great race for a lot of Division 1 there. We see now, though, Division 2 crossing the line, and John Powell with the Greenhouse Group sponsored truck. Again, fresh head, literally speaking, on that engine just before race 1 Sunday. Has seen some fantastic power come out of there. He's got to be happy with that big trophy and the bottle of bubbly.
Great entertainment, as always, for the British Truck Racing Championship. Stuart Oliver, last couple of words from you. Watching that as a father and a team owner, result, how do you feel about that?
Yeah, it was fantastic. You know, Michael's still got, learning, and he's, the racecraft there is very, I'm very pleased with to see that, and you see a different perspective when you're in here and see it on the TV and see it out the window, and I'm delighted, for the team's side. But like Pointy says, Ryan presses his go faster button and he just launches himself and he's gone, and that's something we've got to work on and try and find the go faster button ourselves.
Well, best of luck for the rest of the weekend. Best result of the weekend so far. Enjoyed the next 2 races. Thank you so much for being with us, Stuart. Been an absolute pleasure.
Thank you very much.
So some replays coming up here. We'll get Ian downstairs. Oh, no, it's going to be you, Pointy, isn't it? Sorry.
Who? I beg your pardon. I'm sitting right here, you.
Pointy will be in Park Fervey in just a few moments' time. We've got 2 more of these races coming up, so maybe we'll see you again later, Stuart, if you enjoyed yourself that much. It's some big slides there. That's the Dave Jenkins slide that dropped him from fighting for second down to 4th position. He'll rue that mistake, but that is racing. Here's the overtake that we just caught the end of for Ryan Smith. Again, as Stuart said, presses the go faster button and off he goes and whizzes away. Look at that. The gap he pulled out in the first couple of seconds from the overtake is just absolutely phenomenal. But what 2 great defensive displays we've seen. Another one there from Michael Oliver. So there's your official results. Ryan Smith ahead of Michael Oliver and Stephen Powell. Dave Jenkins, after that slight spin, down in 4th place, so loses a few points on the championship table. Then David Smith and Neil Yates. In Division 2, John Powell ahead of Simon Cole, who started on pole, and then Sam Osborne picks up his 3rd podium of the weekend. Tom O'Rourke down in 7th in class and 10th overall. Archie Handy finishing his 3rd ever race in British Truck Racing Championship. Non-finish for John Bowler after the incident at the first corner, and a non-finish for Stuart Oliver, who is sadly out of the weekend, but great to have him in the box here. Now, in just a few moments' time, let's go down to Pointy.
In the 69 machine. About that.
Hi there, me again. How we doing? That's right, it's Pointy down in the pits. We've got Ryan Smith, fantastic race. Pressure on Michael Oliver the entire time, but I think the real hero of this race has got to be said. We've got to talk to Michael Oliver. Out of the way. Oh my goodness! Now that was it. Now obviously we're well aware Ryan Smith taking the 1st place, but my God, the defence was incredible. Literally, it was like you were on rails out there, Michael.
Well, what happened was we were sat waiting to go out for so long. I'm just desperate for the toilet.
Come on, let this guy go to the toilet, for goodness sake. Dave Jenkins, we've got here as well.
You alright?
I wasn't expecting you to stop there.
I was trying to.
Well, he just said he needed a wee, so he's probably trying to look for a cheeky tree to go to. But honestly, the skill there, I mean, you've both now effectively been in the same position of having to defend your position against Ryan Smith. And let's be honest, when he chooses to, it just comes out of nowhere, doesn't it?
Yeah, no, Michael's doing a great job defending from Ryan, but what I was making reference to the incident when I doshed him from behind into the back right-hander. I was just teeing him up for a move, and he overstopped it to defend. He caught me off guard. I jumped on the brakes, spun, just caught him. I didn't know how hard it was.
That's probably my fault, that one, to be fair. Cheers, Dave.
Oh, but that was honestly phenomenal racing.
It looked good.
It looked fantastic. We were on the edge of it. I mean, don't forget, we just had your dad commentating on that race as well, up in the commentary box. Yeah. So, I mean, he didn't say much, I'll be honest. He was just out the windows, like, where's he gone? Where's he gone? So, yeah.
I thought I had him, and then I went round the back. And you just kind of do about the power, man.
Literally, it's almost like we saw him. It's like the lap before he took him. It's almost like he started to drop back. Even you had mentioned, oh, that looks like a better gap than the previous lap. And then all of a sudden, whoosh, and we're talking the 2-second gap just on the pit straight. The acceleration is insane.
Oh no, it's unbelievable. You just kind of compete, but like, I just made it so hard. I was an absolute.
Well, if anything, we like to see you hard, Michael. Well done. So let's see if we can't find. Here we go. John Powell over here. Got to make sure we speak to Division 2. Again, as I mentioned earlier on, the Greenhouse Group, we had a chat with John Powell this morning, which was fantastic. Again, like I say, his engine was in bits by the end of that race. Oh, let's go to Ryan Smith whilst we're waiting for John. Ryan talking to Dave Jenkins. Ryan, wow, I tell you what, what's the secret? The power that you've got. We almost saw you drawing back a bit and then flying past Michael.
Because I just give the truck a breather. When you're in the stream of Michael, when I was so close, and you were backing me up into the corners, the engine gets a bit warm.
Is this what they mean by dirty air? It's like when you're too close, you're not really getting what you need.
You don't really get slipstream in these things because they're so big and only doing 160 kph.
Like a brick wall going at 100.
You get airflow for the engine and everything. So I had to drop back just for a little while, just to let the engine temperature drop. And then I've got to say this. Michael did very, very well.
We were impressed.
He drove very well, very clean.
He was on tram tracks, wasn't he?
He drove very well, and you know, it was just one more lap he was away. But Michael did very well then, and if he'd have won that race, I'd have had no complaints because he didn't make any mistakes.
I mean, we were looking. It was like we were seeing this clock counting down. We saw you and Dave yesterday. We were like, "What is going on? Is it? It can't be. It can't be." I was like, "Oh." We were on the edge of our seats. The entire circuit was literally chewing their nails.
Dave got that one for free.
I
gave it back, and like yesterday, like I gave that position back because one, Dave didn't do anything wrong. Michael drove really, really well, and yeah, if he won the last lap, I would have not finished first.
But exactly, but you did finish first, so well done. Congratulations on another trophy. Very good job. Here he is. He's finished now. Right, talking to the circuit commentary before, we spoke to you earlier on. You showed us the team. You thanked the team, and I'm sure there'll be a few more thanks going around when we get back to the tent.
Well, I'll tell you what I'm going to do. Jason Farnell and Johnny Farnell, grandmother and their mother passed away 2 weeks ago, and those guys come in my workshop last weekend and put that lorry together. So I'm going to dedicate it to their grandmother and mother.
Oh, that's so lovely. Race dedication.
She's looking down on us, and also John Payne's looking down on us as well. So, you know what,
lots of support.
Things like that makes the team gel.
It's what makes it gel, it's what makes it family, isn't it? Just because of different names doesn't mean it's not family.
No, absolutely, all day long.
And I take it now, Touchwood, the new head made the difference. You want the engine ran?
No, it's well underpowered anyway, so... Oh. But we got a boost pipe and I've got to go. So.
Oh, got to go. He's got to go. He's got to move his truck, which means I've got to go because I won't be allowed to cross the circuit otherwise. So I'm going to hand the microphone back to Ian.
Thanks, boys. Get out of there. Go on, go. Right, more action coming up. Let's hand you over to you and see what's coming up next. Here we go. Let's go racing.